Today, I'm going to introduce you to Mr. Ronnie Vale. The place to be today, everybody. We are here in Ruston, Louisiana, profiling another one of our weather watchers. This gentleman here, you've heard his name many, many times on the air, and today get a chance to meet him and hear why he loves talking about and observing the weather. I'm talking about Mr. Ronnie Vale. Ronnie, you are down here in Ruston, Louisiana. You tell me, how long have you been living here?
Been living here for 25 years in this particular home.
25 years right here in Ruston, Louisiana. I guess I got my question for you. How long have you been part of the Weather Watcher program?
Since its inception by Joe Haynes in 2015.
Okay. You obviously must have a love of observing the weather, don't you, or what?
I do have a love of weather, primarily because of the dangers that come with severe weather. But we all love the beautiful weather, but we want to know about the severe weather.
Right. Speaking of beautiful weather, you seem to have an obsession with plants a little bit, don't you?
I do.
Why is that?
Well, I have a degree in zoology, but to get a degree in zoology, you have to have certain botany courses. And at the same time, my father-in-law was in the logging and sawmilling business, and he taught me about all of the various trees and species that are in our yard and all over North Louisiana.
Yeah, and you yourself love observing the weather. Got another question for you, too. Whenever you're around town, do people ask you what the weather forecast is?
Oh, absolutely. I'm known as the Ruston weather guy.
The Ruston weather guy.
But my wife calls me the hippy-dippy weatherman.
Okay, which one do you prefer?
I like the Ruston weatherman.
The Ruston weatherman. What would you say to people if they were interested in getting into doing something like this, just generally observing the weather?
Well, it's pretty simple to do. You have to, first of all, have the desire, and then there's quite a few different brands and pieces of weather reporting equipment that you can buy and put at your home that gives you things like temperature, humidity, dew points, barometric pressure, and those are things that interest you if you get really involved in weather reporting.
Once again, everybody, Mr. Ronnie Vale, Ruston, Louisiana. And there's one thing for sure, he knows a whole lot out there about all the different trees. He's pointing to this tree, this tree, this tree, and just naming all of them there. But really super nice man. Nice to get to hang out with him for today. We'll be visiting somebody else tomorrow, but keep it here. Of course, coming up in our next half hour, we'll go visit with Ronnie once again. And today, I make a trip to Ruston, Louisiana. We're profiling our weather watchers this week. Why? Because it's been around for 10 years. And one of the original members actually happens to live right here in Ruston, Louisiana. I'm talking about Mr. Ronnie Vale. And today we're going to find out the weather station that Ronnie uses and any advice he may have for others who may want to get into weather observing. So, Ronnie, you actually have a weather station here. What I find so neat about it, first of all, before we talk about the kind of weather station, you made this one so you can move it around, didn't you?
Yes, I put it on a portable stand, and I can move it to wherever the most opportune point is for whatever type weather we're having.
That's pretty neat there with it. But I'm also betting, too, and maybe you haven't gone that much deep into it, it probably actually observe things a little differently, even in just different places in the yard, I'm betting.
It does. When I have it in the backyard where it normally is, I have to be very careful with the temperature readings. And I have a different thermometer that gives me accurate temperature readings for that purpose. Tell
me a little bit about this particular unit. What is it? And to me, I think it's a great starter unit too.
It is a good starter unit, but I've had it for nearly 10 years. It's an Accurite Iris 5-in-1. It's the Accurite basic unit, but it's a very reliable unit.
And two, it basically will do everything. What temperature, your wind direction, it even takes care of accumulating rainfall, right?
Absolutely, rainfall, barometric pressure, and obviously your temperature. And all of that's recorded and sent to you in a program through the internet.
And then two, you actually can go on there with it as well, and you can probably look at all these other weather stations other people have that might surround your area also.
Yes, there's a certain way you can do that, and sometimes you'll pick up information from weather stations that are even different brands from yours and higher quality than yours.
Why is it that you love doing what you're doing and also doing it as part of the Weather Watcher program?
Well, I love doing it because I'm a scientist at heart. But the other reason is I worked for the railroad for 22 years, and weather was very critical in the railroad industry. So I began studying the weather quite a few years back.
Really nice man there, Mr. Ronnie Vale. And just like yesterday, we talked to Mr. Wayne Hatfield and Homer. When Ronnie goes around town, everybody asked him about the weather. We're going to continue talking with other weather watchers through the rest of the week.